How do you know that? Because you're going to use one of your pencils and circle that letter. Circle it. And then use a different color. Use the other color. And circle the other letter. By using two different colors, hopefully it helps you remember that although they're different, although you have two different equations, they're different numbers, you have two different equations. What are each one solved for? Why? Okay, I'm going to ask you that one more time. What are each of those two equations written for? Why? Okay. What was this method called I told you at the beginning?
Equal value method.
What does the word equal mean?
The same.
Okay, the same. Okay. What's a different word for equal? Balance. Okay, balance. The same and balance. Okay. Anybody that knows or understands the word equal as a different letter? So the same and balance. Do we all understand what the word equal mean? Or the same? Sorry, the same. Now, if we use the equal value method, right? I need to take the two letters, and what letters are they? Y and? No, the two letters that I have. Y and Y. I have two equations. I have two equations, right? One equation and the other one. I'm going to set them equal. I'm going to set them equal to each other. Okay? So this equation here, it corresponds to that letter. And this equation here is that second letter Y. Okay? But I have one equation. I have another one. Both of them are solved for Y. Okay? Now, if I told you that this letter, this variable Y, corresponds to this, you guys agree that we're able to change this? We're able to change it with that? You guys agree that I can do that? Yes? No? Can I do that? The answer is I am able. Chris, we stop. Thank you. Isaac, same thing. The answer is I'm able to change. I am able to change, Jesus. I am able to change and replace. I'm able to replace this letter. I'm able to replace this letter with this right here. You guys told me that I have two different letters. You guys told me that I have the letter Y. I have the letter Y, and you guys told me, Albert, that the other equation is also the letter Y. I have this letter twice. One time, Maddie, and I have it up second time. Okay? Now, on one of the after I replace the letters with my equations, after I replace them, can I combine like terms with these two? Why not, Tamir? One has a letter, an X, and the other one does not. All right. So here, I'm a little bit lost. I don't know what to do. I cannot combine them. Okay. Now, Fernanda, ¿puedo combinar esos dos? Can I combine them? ¿Por qué no? Why not? Uno tiene la X y el otro no. Okay. Now, so we all understand. Do we understand that I cannot combine these? I cannot combine these two, and I cannot combine these two in red. I cannot combine them because why, Mia? One of them has a variable and the other one doesn't. Thank you. Now, what does this number here have that this one also has? An X. Does this one have an X?
No.
Does that one have an X?
No.
No, I somehow want to combine those. Okay? Now, if I combine them, if I combine them, and let's say, do we want to take care of the letter first, the variable, or the numbers? The numbers? Let's go with numbers. Okay, just numbers. Now, if this right here is adding one, what's the opposite of adding?
Subtracting.
Subtracting. And when I do something on one side, I have to do it to the other side. Okay? So here, Charlie, I'm adding one. Charlie, can you tell me what's the opposite of adding one? Subtracting one. Now, what I do on one side, I do it on the other side. So you guys agree that I'm doing everything that I'm doing is fair. Anybody disagree? I'm doing the opposite, and the opposite of adding is subtracting. And what I do on one side, I do it on the other side. Anybody disagree with me?
No.
We're all on the same page? Now, the next question is, after I do this, what happens with these two?
They cancel. They eliminate.
Why do they cancel? Why do they eliminate?
Because they're the same number.
They're the same numbers, but opposite? Opposite, opposite signs. Positive, negative, opposite signs. So I'm going to eliminate them. They cancel. Cross them out. Cross them out. Cross them out. And what is 4? Positive 4, take away 1. We're on the same page, it's 3?
Positive.
Okay. Positive 3, okay. So, positive 3. Alright, now, right here put a positive. It's positive 3. 4 take away 1 is a positive 3. Now, at this point, after I do that, what do I recommend to do?
Bring everything down.
I bring everything down. I bring everything down. So go ahead and bring that down. Go ahead and bring this down. Go ahead and bring this down. And when you bring it down, just simply write it underneath. So here I'm going to put negative 2x. And if you have a question, please stop me and let me know. I will answer your question. If somebody else might have the same question as you, I'm going to bring down the equal sign. And then lastly, I need to bring down the 1x. Are we on the same page? Did I lose anybody? Did I confuse anybody? If that's you, please let me know how I confused you. Okay? So, Frenchie, I'm a little bit lost. Why did I subtract 1? It's the opposite of adding. Good job. Gus, I'm a little bit lost. How did I get the positive 3?
Because you subtracted 4 and 1.
I took 1 and I subtracted it from 4. Yeah, I knew what you meant, but your wording was a little bit off. So I took 4 and I subtracted how much?
1.
Gotcha. 3. Okay. Now, Anthony, can you tell me what these arrows here represent? What am I doing, Anthony? I'm just bringing it down. Okay, anybody disagree with what we just said? We're on the same page? Now, can I combine these two? Why not, Julian?
Because one has a variable.
And the other one?
Doesn't.
Does not. Chris, why can I combine these two, Chris? And the other one? Does not. Alright, Destiny, why can I combine these two, Destiny? Because one of them does not have an X, okay? Now, on the left side, how many numbers do I have?
1.
Just 1. I don't have anything else, just 1, right? Now, does this number have an X, yes or no?
Yeah.
So, what do I do? What do I want to do with this and this? Combine them, right? But how do I combine them, though? By doing the opposite. What's the opposite of a positive one? Negative one. But the only difference is that this has a variable, an X, right? So, you guys said the opposite, and you said the opposite is a negative. So, the opposite of a positive is a negative. So, I'm going to do this. And, but what else do I need? The X, right? I cannot leave the X behind. I need to bring the X with the number. It's like a family, they stay together. You can't separate them. Okay? Now, Nadia, what I do on one side, I do it on the
Other.
other side. Now, Monse, this right here is a positive one. The opposite of a positive is a negative. Genesis. Right here I have a positive. The opposite of a positive is a negative. All right, Julian, go ahead.
Why don't you just do, why come you don't do the -2 opposite of -2?
How come I don't do the opposite of a -2? Because, Julian, that's a great question, Julian. I did that because, Julian, normally, ideally, you have a number on this side, and then on the other side, you have all the x's, okay? We are trying to make all the variables, whether x, y, be on one side, and we're trying to make all the numbers that do not have the x on the other side. If I would have brought this over to this side, what would have been over here, Julian?
Nothing.
Nothing. That would have been 0, and I don't like that. Okay? By me bringing this over here, now I have the x and the 3, the number, which I don't want. I want to pull them apart. And I want to have the equal sign in the middle. Okay? So I want all the x's, and I want all the numbers. Okay? Does that answer your question? Yes? Now, so you guys said that the opposite of a positive is a negative. What you do on one side, you do it on the other side. Now the question is, what's going to happen with these two here? I'm going to cross them out. I'm going to eliminate them. Why? Because it equals 0, right? And when it equals 0, it's nothing is there. You're going to cross them out. They got eliminated. Now, the question here is where some of you get confused on something really, really, really basic, right? So we're going to first do it in our head. But if we need a calculator, which we may, then we double check using a calculator. Okay? Now, before we even get the number, what do these two have in common? They both have an x. They both have an x. So what should I put here? X. We cannot forget the x. So we already know that they both have an x. We both know that we got to maintain it. We got to keep it. So let's not forget the x. Let's bring it down. Okay? Now the next question, the important question is, what is -2 take away 1? -3. Now, the best way that I could put it, I'm going to treat the negative with me owing you money. Okay? I already owe you. Let's say I owe you $2. I'm gonna ask you to let me borrow one more. I'm gonna owe you $1 more. How much am I gonna owe you in total if I owed you 2 at the beginning? 3. I'm gonna owe you, so it's negative. All right, we're on the same page. -2, take away 1, I get -3. I owed you $2 at the beginning. I'm gonna owe you 1 more. I'm gonna owe you a grand total of $3. Okay? Now the question is if this is what I get and that cancels out, what do I do next? I heard it. What do I do next? I divide. Right? I divide. And the reason why you divide is because these two are being multiplied. And we all know that the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And what I do on one side, I do it on the other side. So the question is, do I divide by -3 or +3? -3. Good job. -3. Okay. Bless you. I always divide. When by the number that's in front of the letter of the variable, and that number happens to be -3. So I got to divide by that number. I got to divide by -3, and we all know that 3 divided by -3 is
-1.
a negative.
-1.
-1. So I'm running out of space. Bless you. I'm running out of space. But you yourself might have space, but I'm running out of space. So the last thing that I need to put is my answer. You guys mentioned that 3 divided by -3 equals. What's my answer?
-1.
-1. And negative 1 equals what letter? What variable?
X.
X. Julian, I see you have a question. Julian, go ahead.
The same thing as last time. Why do you do the -1 instead of the -4
Why do I do the negative 1?
in the beginning?
At the beginning of the problem, that's up to me. I could, any route, yeah. Any route that you take, Julian, whether you do the opposite of this or you do the opposite of this, you're gonna get the same answer. The good thing is that you have two options. Do you want to do the opposite of adding 1, or like you said, do you want to do the opposite of adding 4? Whichever route you go, we'll get the same answer. Okay, so that's the good thing about it. You have two different ways to get the answer. Okay, but to answer your question, why did I do this? I did this because I think somebody shared that they wanted. I asked, what's the opposite of adding 1? I just saw it from being on this side. Maybe if I was on this side, I would have seen 4 first, and I would have asked, what's the opposite of adding 4? Okay, but we gotta understand that you have two options. You can do the opposite of adding 1, or you can do the opposite of adding 4. That makes sense. That's a good question, Julian. Anybody?